What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we know July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena marks the most highly anticipated date in the sport of boxing since September 16th, 1981, a Tuesday, when we had two legends collide in Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy the Hitman Hearns for Undisputed. Now, at that time, it was only a two-belt era. It was only the WBA and the WBC belts on the line. So with that said, we have a four major sanction belt undisputed welterweight showdown between two undefeated fighters, two pound for pound top five undefeated fighters, and it's for undisputed. That's between Errol Spence Jr., who has a record of 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach, and undefeated three-division world champion, who was the undisputed junior welterweight world champion and the reigning WBO welterweight world champion right now, as is considered to be the number one best pound for pound fighter in the world, in Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford has a record of 39 wins, no losses, no draws, 30 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Now they're going to face off. Errol Spence is considered to be top two, if not number one in some people's eyes. Definitely top five pound for pound best fighters in the world, right? And you have two top five pound for pound fighters. Now the word is that the winner of this fight, first of all, there's a rematch clause, okay? There's a rematch clause, and the loser of this fight has 30 days to activate their rematch clause, which I highly expect either fighter to do, and the fight might take place at 154 instead of 147, right? Because I think after this fight, they want to both create history. They both want to attempt to become undisputed at 147. And that's why they're both hanging around at 147. Terence Crawford been in 147 now for 5 years, okay, since 2018. And Errol Spence has been at 147 for, I believe, 9 years or something of that magnitude, maybe even 10, right? Errol Spence has been in 147 for a long time. He did have fights at 154, but he's been at 147 for a long period of time, right? So his body is outgrowing the division, and Terence Crawford's body is outgrowing the division now. Now, Terence Crawford started his career at a smaller weight class at 130, then became a champion 135, 140, and 147. So with that said, there's a lot of chatter. Again, it's important to watch this video because there's a lot of chatter that the winner of this fight and the rematch is going to look to fight three-time junior middleweight world champion, who's the undisputed reigning junior middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, top five pound for pound best fighters in the world, in Jermell Iron Man Charlo, who is a superstar boxer, who is 35 wins, one loss, one draw, 19 wins by way of knockout. He is 32 going on 33 years of age. He stands at 5'11" and a half with a 73-inch arm reach. Okay, so with that said, there's talks that the winner of this fight is going to look to go up and challenge Jermell Charlo next for his undisputed titles. They're looking to make him the mandatory, right? Now, Jermell Charlo, he has a mandatory challenger in Tim Tszyu, but Jermell Charlo broke his right hand, okay? And so he had to get his right hand fixed and adjusted back to the sport of boxing, back acclimated to the sport of boxing, right? And so being able to use it, it's his dominant hand. He's a right-hander. He's an orthodox fighter. So he has to get himself back acclimated. And so Tim Tszyu, he had a fight, a stay busy fight against former junior middleweight world champion Tony Harrison, to which he won that fight. And then now he's getting ready to fight Carlos Ocampo, and Jermell Charlo is rumored to be ready for Tim Tszyu by the fall, end of the summer, early fall. Okay, and then Jermell Charlo would have satisfied his mandatory, and then Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, the winner of those fights is going to become his mandatory. Now, what's interesting to note, this fight is going to be July 29th. Then they have 30 days, so they have to August 29th to the loser to activate their rematch clause, which I highly expect them to do, which will probably be at 154, and they'll probably fight before the year is over. Okay, by the end of the year, which means Jermell Charlo will fight Tim Tszyu around that same time, the fall, late fall, winter time, and then they'll make themselves the mandatory for Jermell Charlo. But the thing is being overlooked because everybody's asking the question: can Terence Crawford beat Jermell Charlo? Can Errol Spence beat Jermell Charlo? They both skilled and talented enough to beat Jermell Charlo. But let's not overlook Jermell Charlo's talent, his skill set, his size, his fundamentals. Now, it's an interesting storyline for both. Terence Crawford started his career at 130, going all the way up to junior middleweight to challenge Jermell Charlo. If he beats Errol Spence, he'll be going to be undisputed in 3 separate weight classes in the male division. It's unheard of, hasn't been done. Errol Spence is trained by Jermell Charlo's well-renowned 2-time trainer of the year, future Hall of Famer Derrick James. They're both trained by Derrick James, okay? So Derrick James has started his career with Errol Spence, so clearly he's going to go with Errol Spence if Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo fight. But Jermell Charlo was also with Ronnie Shields, and he'll have the pick of the litter of what trainer he wants to use for the Errol Spence fight. But the thing that's not being paying attention to, Errol Spence is 33. Terence Crawford is 35. Jermell Charlo is younger than both of them. He's bigger than both of them. More importantly, he'll be fresher than both of them, depending upon how their fight plays out. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence may take everything out of each other and won't have nothing left for Jermell Charlo. He is just as good as they are. He's just in a bigger weight class and just don't get enough credit as they do because of his demeanor and because he already took a loss and had a draw. He rectified both of those. He knocked out Tony Harrison. It was a questionable, close fight with the first win for Tony Harrison. And then he had a draw with Brian Castano, but he knocked out Brian Castano and he knocked out Tony Harrison. He rectified both of those blemishes on his resume. He fought everybody, just about everybody in his division. And he's knocking them out brutally. And let's not forget, he was a pure boxer before he got with Derrick James. Jermell, his identical twin brother, undefeated 2-division reigning WBC middleweight world champion, was considered the puncher. And he has 22 knockouts. But Jermell is right behind him with 19, and he was considered the pure boxer out of the two. Jermell Charlo is not far behind, if at all, Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. He's on the same level as Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. He just don't get the credit they get because they fight in more glamorous divisions. Errol Spence in the welterweight division, Terence Crawford in the lightweight, then junior welterweight, now welterweight division. There are more popular names in those divisions, more recognizable names in those divisions. So Jermell Charlo's demeanor, his attitude outside the sport of boxing, people, they make him pay for that in the rankings in the sport of boxing. He's fundamentally sound. His boxing ability is top notch. He has power. He's durable with his chin. He's the total package, but he don't get credit for it. He don't get credit for his skill set because, again, he gets the knock because of people don't fancy his attitude, his demeanor, his character outside the sport of boxing. That's why. So we don't know how grueling a fight, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and what they going to take out of each other. Again, he's younger than both of them, but he's bigger than both of them, and he's just as talented as both of them are. Now, because people are more identifiable with Errol Spence's name and Terence Crawford's name, they'll pick them to be victorious. Jermell Charlo versus Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo versus Terence Crawford is no different than Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. In the ring, competitive-wise. They are bigger draws, bigger names. But who knows what they're going to take out of each other. Let's say Errol Spence wins both the fights. How much is Terence Crawford going to take out of Errol Spence by the time Errol Spence gets to Jermell Charlo? May not have nothing left to deal with what Jermell Charlo bringing to the table. Keep him off you and deal with and be able to absorb what he's dishing out. Terence Crawford may not have nothing left to be able to deal with Jermell Charlo's size, strength, durability, boxing ability. So before we be quick to jump and say that they'll both be victorious because we can identify with their names more so in their popularity than his, we got to take that into consideration, that how much left are they going to have to be able to compete with him. Imagine them fighting each other twice in 2 grueling fights and then have to fight themselves again in their 3rd fight. Take that into consideration. And that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.